Good morning, everybody. We have Miss Webb with us here again at Zakiah Farms, and she's going to go over some farm items that she used both in the household to run the household and also items on the farm. These are all items from the early 1900s that both her grandparents or she used as a child growing up here on the farm. So Mrs. Webb, what would you like to start out with?
I think I'll start out with the shoe lace.
And for those of you who don't know Mrs. Webb, Mrs. Louise Webb, Mary Louise Webb is her whole name, and she's 97 years old, and she was born on this property. What year were you born?
1924.
She was born on this property in 1924 and was delivered by her grandmother in their family home. And so she is now 97, correct?
96, I'll be 97 in October.
Yeah, she's 96 now, 97 in October. So she is quite the treasure and very lively. She's who I want to be when I grow up, and she could run circles over around any of us. But we're going to try to capture her wealth of knowledge here on Monday mornings and go over items. So we're going to start out with, what did you say?
I said the shoe stretcher.
The shoe stretcher.
You know, we used to hand me down, so if it didn't fit, you had to stretch it to make it fit in order to have shoes. And this is the shoe lace, and we have all sizes. This is a small size, but they do have them for adults to mend the shoe. And of course, you would buy the leather. And I don't have tacks with me right now, but you had tacks and a hammer and put a new sole on the shoe.
So hold up the item that the shoe actually slid onto. The metal item.
The metal.
Yeah. So
we had them in different sizes.
So you had little metal shoes that you slid the shoe into the shoe and put it onto that stand.
Yeah, right, onto the stand.
So
and
then
they have all size stands too, Cindy.
So then you could repair the sole? Was that what that was mainly for?
That's right.
Because you didn't throw them away when the soles wore out.
No, sometimes you had to put a piece of cardboard in there. You didn't have the leather, so you done the best you could to put the cardboard in.
It's amazing when we're such a disposable society now, you would never think of
no way.
Mending shoes anymore. And what's the other shoe item there? Is that another shoe stretcher?
This is a smaller one.
Okay.
So that's that.
And what else do we have today?
We have two different nutcrackers.
So wait, I'll go back to shoe for a minute. I'm sorry. Yeah. Did you guys make your own shoes?
No.
So you would either purchase or were given hand-me-downs?
Hand-me-downs, mainly hand-me-downs. There wasn't money.
And so then you would use that shoe, either the stretchers or the repair, to repair the shoe or or try to make it fit your feet, since you weren't buying them already fit your feet. Okay. So you never made the shoes, you used that to repair to help make them fit.
Never made the shoes.
Okay. All right. So what's the next thing that we have here?
We have two nutcrackers here. And this appears to be the newest one. And this one is very heavy. And you put the nut in the bowl, and then you turn
the bowl up this way.
Oh,
here, let me see.
Okay.
So we have nutcracker. This is very heavy.
Yes, it is.
And you put the nut in the bottom of the bowl down here, right?
Yeah, right, Cindy.
And then you screw it on top. And then that one.
This one is a more moderate one.
Yeah. So this one this is almost like that garlic press thing. Put the nut inside there. What kind of nuts did you guys crack with that?
With this was just English walnut, hazelnuts, but not the nuts, hickory nuts, or no walnuts did we crack with that. The walnuts we had to crack with the hammer on a block of wood, or either sometimes you found a brick or stone, I should say.
Is that because of the outer casing of the walnut or the inner walnut?
The inner walnut.
The inner walnut.
The outer walnut, we use that for dye shoes.
And these were all nuts that were here on the farm, natural?
Oh, definitely. There's a lot of walnut trees here on the farm.
And then, how did you get the outer husk off?
Well, we let them dry, and then we'd step on them with our shoes.
Okay, so you didn't get them off while they were green. You let them dry till they were
dry. they would fall off. Most of the time, the walnuts fell off, and then we would gather them.
So this might be something we should revisit in the fall when we actually have walnuts to gather and show people. We'll try to remember that for this fall. But the walnuts on the tree, if people haven't seen them, they grow in a big outer husk. It's really thick, and it's green when it's on the trees, and they're hard to get out of that outer husk. But when they dry up, they dry very dark.
That's right.
They will stain your hand. So what color were you trying to get your? What color dye did it make you?
We wanted something dark brown, like, or black. Sometimes it was black. You know, when they were drying.
Right.
And then as they dried, they had a yellow cast.
Right. So in your hands, they will stain your hands when you're working with them. But the inner nut on the English walnuts, I mean the black walnuts that we have naturally are very hard.
Yes, very hard.
Very hard. And that's what you use for the hammer.
That's right.
And they're smaller than the English walnuts that people are used to buying in the store. All right. There's more meat in the English walnuts than there is the black walnut, but the black walnut has more flavor. Yes,
more flavor.
Absolutely.
So we could make ice cream here on the farm. We made ice cream because we had our cream, and we had the cows and the cream and all of that.
What other nuts did you have here that you gathered?
Just a wild, let me see, was it chickpeas we ate too?
I know.
Chickpeas and hickory
you know you
nuts.
can't find chickpeas anymore. I can't find them. We had chickpeas as a kid. I remember the chickpeas when I was a kid, and you can't find chickpeas anymore.
But we would eat those with hickory nuts. We got those too.
And then the butternuts?
No. Butternut, no.
Like that tree that was in your brother's yard?
Well, the big tree was the hickory tree.
Okay.
I can't recall the butternut.
That's what he told me it was called, was a butternut. So, but I thought it was hickory also. So maybe that was just his name. Okay. Did you ever do anything with the beech nuts or anything? Did y'all collect those or no?
No.
They're so little.
Yeah.
All right. So do we have anything else we're going to do today?
Let's see. We could do this jar. There's a jar over there too. Because there are many berries to pick. Blackberries, dewberries, and they grew on the ground, but now I don't see any. They're beautiful, nice and big, we used to call them dewberries.
The what berries?
D-E-W.
Oh, dewberries.
And we would go out and get them in the morning. And of course we bought them back from my grandmother to can, and then we put them in the cellar, because we didn't have a basement. We called it a cellar then. Put them in the cellar for the winter days. And then we'd make dewberry dumplings. Just like you make peach dumplings and the other fruits.
There is quite a bit of fruit that grows naturally around here.
Yes.
So the dewberries, I'm going to have to look up because I'm not familiar with that.
Do that, I would appreciate that.
But you have the mulberry. And there's a lot of mulberry trees on this farm.
That's right, a lot of mulberry trees on the farm.
You had the raspberries.
Yes, we still have that.
We still have raspberries.
We have the
blackberries.
We still have those, wild blackberries. We've done the same thing with the wild blackberries as we did with any other fruit.
The blueberries.
Oh, yes. Had plenty of blueberries here.
And then y'all had planted, because that tree's still there, a big cherry tree that's up there. That's sour cherry tree. But the raccoons and birds eat them all. You can't get to them.
And from all those fruits, my grandmother made wine.
Wine. Nice.
Yes, it was.
But growing up in Southern Maryland, once the spring hit, there was generally fruit that went from the spring all the way through the fall that grew naturally around here. Like the pawpaws and the persimmons are in the fall.
We have some persimmons still on the farm and pawpaws on the farm. So I'm trying to keep those. It's a few.
Yep.
But they grow profusely, those pawpaws.
They do.
Yes.
But they like it here because we're wet.
Yes, that's what you should find them near the swamps.
Yep. But the animals don't like them.
Isn't that
It's the one tree that I've found that the goats and the sheep won't eat is a pawpaw. They'll eat all the way around them, but they won't eat a pawpaw. It's interesting.
Yes, it is.
But there is quite a bit of food that naturally grows if people know what they're looking for.
Yes, and the pork salad.
Yes.
Pork,
the pokeweed.
Pokeweed, yes.
Yeah.
We are expecting the pokeweed soon.
Yes, we will be getting that
Somebody
too.
just
like the skunk cabbage out of this, down the swamp. Yep. But there's quite a bit of natural food, and I'm sure you guys utilize that.
Oh yes, every bit of it.
Yep.
Even the roots of the trees we use.
Sassafras?
Yes, that's right. And we still have those. Not many.
Not as many as it used to be, no. But you guys made sassafras probably tea.
And we used it. My grandmother made root beer.
Root beer out of it. We'll have to talk about.
Yeah, we'll talk about the root beer.
The root beer and
tapping
stuff.
And whatnot.
Right. All right. So, what you brought today that intrigued me was this glass there. Why don't you? No, this one right here.
Oh yes.
Why don't you show?
Yeah. This is a fly catcher. You put your vinegar in here, and of course this is a glass bottom. And once the fly got in, the flies will not be able to get out.
Right. So you have a hole here, so it has air, but you can see that it's concave in there. So you put the vinegar inside there, or wine, or
yes.
I use vinegar that I make here, or I use actually some of the kombucha that I make here to attract them, or you can use old wine that went bad. And the flies fly in here and they can't get out. There's a little fly
near the design, I think.
on the design right there, if you guys can see that. It goes all around it. And for those who have ever had fly issues, where that is quite the design there. It's kind of cool. I've never seen that before, but I do something similar to trap them in using the mason jars, because the fruit flies, it works really well for fruit flies too. So so doing that.
I have it some places how to make the fly ribbons.
Oh, really? So yeah, she's talking about the fly tape that you can buy. It's a little thing that you can bring out, and you have something that shows you how you can make that. Something sticky and attractive. Yeah. Because on a farm, unfortunately, you always have flies.
That's right.
Yep. And you don't want to use pesticides to kill them, because the pesticides kill all the good stuff too. So we try not ever to use the pesticides to kill the bugs. So this is a very natural way to get rid of some of those types of pests. We also use here on the farm, just going with the flies, fly predators, because there's always, in the ecosystem in the world, there's always God made it. There is always something that ate something to keep things in check, to keep keep populations in balance. And so there's this thing called fly predators, and they look like little teeny.
I think you had them at one time, didn't you? Yeah,
we used those, and I showed you. They look like little teeny flies.
Yes.
Almost like gnats. They're so teeny, but they can't reproduce on their own. They don't set the larvae. So the predator part works where they go in, and this sounds disgusting, but they go in and they lay their egg in the black flies, the flies that are a pest to the livestock and to us, into their larvae. And it feeds and uses that to develop their flies, and it ends up killing the black fly. And the predator fly does not irritate anybody, and they're so small and they don't bother the animals or us. So it's really important to help control that in a natural way. So that's kind of cool. Well, Mrs. Webb, this was lovely, and I thank you for sharing these items with us. They're all kinds of amazing things that we take for granted now because it's already done for. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about is this. So we'll talk about this before we're done.
Okay.
And I think that's the last item for this morning.
Okay, this is a...
Move this mason jar if you don't mind so they can see it. There you go.
Okay, this is a water, what shall we call it? For the
chicken water.
Chicken water.
Yep, for baby chicks.
Put it in here, believe it or not. You have to be quick. Put it in here, or either you do that, okay, and you tie it on, and then you flip it.
Yep, and the water comes out.
Yeah, and you can see the water go down as the chickens drink.
Yep. So I brought some water over, so we're going to just demonstrate that real quick because, you know, it's...
But you want me to pour it? I can pour it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just going to do a little bit. And...
Okay, I'll put the top on. The top screws on this mason jar. There it goes. And then we do a flip.
Flip it over. And then you can see the water comes bubbling out. It's okay. We just have visitors. So the water comes visiting out, but the pressure equalizes. So the water just stays here and it doesn't overflow. So
Yeah,
the
that's
chicks
right.
can come up and drink out of this without drowning.
Yeah, right.
And the pressure equalizes and we don't make a mess. So that's been used for years and years and years.
Yes, yes it is.
Because I know my grandparents used the same thing when I was growing up. So you guys used the same type of waterer when you were young,
yes, that's
filling
true.
up. And the glass mason jars fit
And
right on it. They're
we
made
had some that had the half a gallon.
half a gallon. Yep.
Yeah, half a gallon. That's right. Not a gallon, half a gallon.
Yeah. Yep. And they were made to fit on the mason jar, so they worked out really nice. All right, so that's our last item for this morning. So I appreciate it, and we're going to do this again next Monday.
Next Monday.
Next Monday, we're going to try something different, and we're going to go live on Instagram. So anybody who's interested in being able to interact with Mrs. Webb and ask her questions about the items she brought out, like we have other items here, and she has lots and lots of other things we're going to go over every Monday morning. But if you want to have a chance to interact and ask your own questions, we're going to go live on Instagram next Monday morning around 9 o'clock. So just be prepared around 9 o'clock that we'll go live. Thank you, Mrs. Webb.
Thank you very much. I enjoyed showing them.
Thank you. We'll talk to you next Monday.